and welcome to UC Today. My name is Kristian McCann, and today we're exploring how enterprises are transforming the way they plan and deploy AV solutions by moving from traditional 2D blueprints to immersive 3D visualizations. And if your organization is refreshing its meeting spaces and rethinking hybrid collaboration, or simply trying to avoid the costly surprises that come when AV design meets real-world limitations, then stay with us, because I'm joined by Ryan Holmes, Digital Workspace Solution Architect at New Era Technology, and we're going to unpack how 3D visualization is reshaping enterprise AV planning, from reducing rework and aligning stakeholders to deliver smarter and more connected workspaces. So, Ryan, it's a pleasure to have you on today.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So, many organizations are embarking on a large-scale AV transformation in our office, yet some of them are still relying on 2D plans to do this. What are the pitfalls in doing it like this?
Yeah, so the biggest issue is 2D plans only show the layout intent. It shows the show home version, not the real version with actual humans using the space. Another element of it is AV technology is based on physics. Science that's what the technology is based around, while meeting spaces are used by humans with unpredictable habits. Architects, space planners design with symmetry because that's how people expect rooms to look and feel. A couple of examples are, human movement versus acoustic decay. So people don't sit still and always face forwards and speak at a consistent level. 2D plans assume fixed positions, but speech intelligibility depends on distance, angle, head orientation, room reverberation. So once users start to lean back, swivel, or move, microphone coverage maps need to account for all of those conditions, not just the typical that is shown on a 2D plan. And also, artistic lighting versus usable lighting. Designers prioritize, daylight, exposed light fixtures, reflective qualities of, surfaces that enhance the architectural element of it, whereas cameras require stable lumens, controlled contrast, predictable color temperatures. So a room that looks great artistically is actually the worst possible environment for video.
Okay, that's really interesting. I was wondering, so, you've just laid out a really great example of why 2D has these pitfalls. It's not the way that the room is actually experienced. But I was wondering, could you give us an example of how seeing your setup in 3D can kind of alleviate these issues that you've just laid out?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, by seeing your space in virtual reality, basically what we're doing is we're stress testing the room design. So think of it as a virtual proof of concept that allows any device to be tested and evaluated, where you can start to actually see, which microphone is best, which camera is best, and not just that, but then the placement of them to make sure that we've got everything technically and functionally correct.
Okay, well, you mentioned stress testing, so of course you're referring to New Era's own platform that helps customers visualize their space. Could you walk us through how this New Era's platform simulates both room design and even device performance as well?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think what's key to the platform is it's true to scale. So it's a virtual clone of a room. So we can build that up from, a hand sketch with dimensions, a couple of photos, and we can then build that up into a virtual reality model of that space. What we then do is we can then take real AV vendor devices that aren't just look like the devices, they actually have all the characteristics. So the lens angles, the microphone polar patterns, all of that is packaged into these modules that we can drag and drop into the virtual reality design from vendors such as Cisco, Logitech, Neat, Poly, and Hudley, to name just a few. If we don't have a certain device within our library, we can create a generic one again with all the exact features as it would have in real life. And that allows us to then drag and drop any kind of product into the space and really get an understanding for how it will perform, how the users can then interact with it, and start to really explain to the clients and the users of the space um, the reasons why, so the physics behind why we've chosen certain products over other products.
That's really fascinating how the platform works. Also, you mentioned you can really explain to the clients, why some products are chosen. I was wondering, focusing on the clients, is there anything that once they see this, they're really surprised about, perhaps when it comes to the camera they've tested or the mic pickup when they're using this visualization approach?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's often quite shocking to them how quickly a high specified solution can quickly fall apart, just by moving a table or a seat, a couple of centimeters one way, ultimately could result in, someone not being heard or seen. So, a single front of room camera often can't maintain focal framing across a long table without other delegates, disrupting the sightlines, distortion from, loss of detail compared to someone sat close to the camera. And likewise, from an audio perspective, is you know, a room that is designed perfectly for a boardroom table might then all of a sudden have additional seats for overflow, at the back of the room, and those won't be picked up by any microphone. So it's little things like that that really come to light in quite a impressive, fashion, shall we say.
Indeed, indeed. But you've just mentioned a great things that come to light. I was wondering, when it comes to AV transformation, it's not perhaps just like the IT or the facilities, or it's often an amalgamation of all of them when it comes to procuring and deciding AV. I was wondering, how does your solution help kind of all really make them work together in ways that they understand how their decision affects the other?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think with seeing it in a kind of virtual environment, that model becomes then a shared language. So instead of every team interpreting the drawings differently, it becomes a shared language that all can understand. So from IT, they can validate that their requirements have been met. Facilities and main contractors can see, how's it going to be mounted, the sight lines, the infrastructure needed. And then most importantly, the actual users, the clients, can experience the design without needing, a qualification in AV design. There's a virtual format for all to see. Rather than debating brands or headline specs, what we're able to do is actually then, the clients can see, does this setup work for our people? And that clarity removes subjectivity and significantly shortens the design, life cycle.
Indeed. Well, it's a really compelling case for using 3D instead of 2D for designing your AV transformation. I was wondering, perhaps you could kind of help make it a bit concrete for us. What are the kind of outcomes some of the businesses that you have worked with have achieved after adopting, after using this visualization first approach to design?
Mm. So, I mean, organizations are reporting higher room adoption from day one, as it operates and is aligned to the user's behavior and actual requirements. Rooms stop gaining reputations as problem rooms when technology stops drawing attention to itself. Meeting quality improves, and that's where the real return on investment comes from.
Excellent, excellent. And just lastly, to round us all out, Ryan, if you could give one takeaway to enterprises planning AV refreshes in 2026, what should they absolutely visualize before committing any budget towards?
Absolutely. So I think they should visualize the meeting experience, not just the equipment. So what does that kind of mean? Let's, break that down a bit. It's what is the experience for remote participants from the meeting room? Um, who is clearly visible, who falls outside a camera field of views and clarity, who is consistently heard, uh, where is intelligibility going to drop off, is it equal throughout the space, um, are there cheap seats being created unintentionally? Uh, how is daylight, glare, brightness, all of those things need to start being taken into consideration if we want to make a equitable, meeting experience. How room layouts impact performance more than the AV devices do. And I think that's the key takeaway is if you can see the meeting space work in virtual reality before you buy, you won't be fixing mistakes afterwards at greater cost.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great message to leave it on, Ryan. Thank you very much for talking to us today.
Thank you.
And thank you to the audience for watching. If you've enjoyed this, don't forget to like and comment. And as always, subscribe to see more great videos like this. I'm Kristian from UC Today, and until next time, we shall see you then.